Here, at the top of the world, lies a realm of almost unimaginable cold. It is a landscape of stark, silent beauty, where life has adapted to the most extreme conditions on Earth. For millennia, this has been a place of ice and stillness, ruled only by the rhythms of the seasons. But something is stirring in the frozen dark. Far from the world's gaze, figures move across the endless white. They are clad in pristine camouflage, blending seamlessly into the snow and ice. These are not polar bears hunting for seals, nor are they indigenous peoples following ancient traditions. They are soldiers, moving with a chilling purpose across the frozen desert, their breath misting in the brutal sub-zero air. They are sometimes called the white ghosts. These are the advance guard of a new power in the Arctic. They are training in conditions that would defeat and even kill most ordinary humans. Temperatures here can plunge to 50 degrees below 0 Celsius. Winds howl across the ice fields at hurricane force, capable of freezing exposed skin in mere seconds. Yet these soldiers endure. They learn to fight, to survive, and to dominate in this unforgiving environment. They are practicing maneuvers, testing advanced equipment, and establishing a human presence where none was thought possible. Their movements are precise, their objectives shrouded in secrecy, their very existence a quiet but profound statement of intent. For eons, the Arctic Ocean has been nature's fortress. A vast, impenetrable cap of sea ice, many meters thick, has locked it away. This ice has been the defining feature of the region. It has shaped the climate of our planet and dictated the terms of life for every creature. The polar bear, the ringed seal, the narwhal. Their very existence is woven into the fabric of the sea ice. For humanity, it has been an impassable barrier, a final frontier that has defied conquerors and explorers for centuries. But now, the fortress is crumbling. The Great White Shield is melting. Our planet is warming at an unprecedented rate, and nowhere are the effects more dramatic than in the Arctic. Year after year, the summer melt season grows longer and more intense. The ancient multi-year ice, the very foundation of the polar ice cap, is disappearing, replaced by thinner, more fragile seasonal ice. Scientists have been monitoring this decline with growing alarm. Their data tells a stark and undeniable story. The volume of Arctic sea ice in the summer has plummeted in recent decades. See satellite comparison. What was once a permanent solid expanse is becoming a seasonal, navigable sea. The world is, quite literally, opening up at its highest latitudes. This great thaw is a climate catastrophe in the making. For centuries, global trade has flowed along well-established sea lanes, aerial of crowded shipping lanes. A container ship traveling from Shanghai to Rotterdam must navigate through the South China Sea, cross the Indian Ocean, pass through the Suez Canal, and traverse the Mediterranean. It is a long, costly, and often perilous journey that can take more than a month. But what if there were a shortcut, a route that could shave weeks off the travel time and save millions in fuel costs? This is the promise of the Northern Sea Route, a shipping lane that hugs the Arctic coastline of Russia. For most of history, it was a frozen fantasy. Now, it is becoming a strategic and economic reality. As the Arctic ice recedes, the Northern Sea Route is open to navigation for longer periods each summer. For Russia, this is a game-changer of monumental proportions. The route lies almost entirely within its exclusive economic zone, giving Moscow unprecedented control over this emerging global highway. A journey from East Asia to Northern Europe via the Northern Sea Route can be up to 40% shorter than the traditional route through the Suez Canal. The potential economic benefits are staggering. It could reduce shipping times by 10 to 15 days, drastically cutting fuel consumption, crewing costs, and the risks associated with piracy in other parts of the world. Russia is not merely waiting for the ice to melt. It is actively investing billions to turn this potential into a functioning commercial artery. The Arctic is not just a frozen ocean, it is a vast, submerged continent, and like many continents, its geology suggests the presence of immense natural wealth. For decades, geologists have theorized that the Arctic seabed holds some of the planet's last great undiscovered reserves of oil and natural gas. For as long as the region was locked in ice, these resources were beyond our reach, a theoretical prize in a frozen vault. But as the ice melts, the vault door is creaking open, revealing a treasure trove that could reshape global energy markets for generations to come. The stakes are almost unimaginably high. Scientific assessments have confirmed these long-held beliefs. A landmark study by the U.S. Geological Survey estimated that the area north of the Arctic Circle likely holds a staggering 90 billion barrels of undiscovered oil and 1,670 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. This represents roughly 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and a massive 30% of its undiscovered natural gas. The majority of these resources are believed to be located offshore, beneath the shallow waters of the continental shelves. For the nations that ring the Arctic Ocean, this is a potential economic windfall of historic proportions. Russia, with its immense Arctic coastline, stands to gain the most. A significant portion of these estimated reserves lies within its territory. State-controlled energy giants Gazprom, in the remote archipelago of Franz Josef Land, just a few hundred miles from the North Pole, a strange and futuristic structure has risen from the permafrost. Painted in the red, white, blue of the Russian flag, it is a sprawling, three-pronged complex known as the Arctic Trefoil. This is Nagurskoye, Russia's northernmost military base. It's a self-contained fortress capable of housing over 150 soldiers for more than a year without any need for resupply. It's equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, its own power plant, and a newly extended runway capable of handling all types of military aircraft, including strategic bombers. The Arctic Trefoil is not an isolated outpost. It's the crown jewel in a network of new and refurbished military bases that Russia has been methodically constructing along its entire Arctic coastline. From the Kola Peninsula in the west to the Chukchi Peninsula in the east, a string of military installations has been brought online. Old abandoned Cold War-era airfields have been reopened and modernized. New radar stations have been deployed, creating a dome of surveillance that covers vast swaths of the Arctic Ocean. This Arctic shield allows Russia to monitor sea and air traffic in the region with really unprecedented accuracy. These bases serve multiple purposes. While new bases rise on the surface, a more secretive and perhaps more potent force is being deployed in the dark waters below. The Arctic Ocean provides the perfect hiding place for the most powerful weapons ever created by humankind: nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. These incredible machines can remain submerged for months at a time, their nuclear reactors providing virtually unlimited endurance. Beneath the protective cover of the sea ice, they can move undetected, their presence a constant, silent threat. For Russia, its submarine fleet is the cornerstone of its nuclear deterrent and a key instrument of its Arctic strategy. The Russian Northern Fleet, based near the city of Murmansk on the Kola Peninsula, is the most powerful of Russia's naval forces. It is home to a formidable array of nuclear submarines, including the new Borai class. These submarines are technological marvels, designed for extreme quietness to evade detection by enemy sonar. Each one can carry up to 16 Bulava submarine-launched ballistic missiles. A single Bulava missile armed with multiple nuclear warheads can strike targets thousands of miles away. From the sanctuary of the Arctic Ocean, these submarines can hold at risk cities across North America and Europe. A fortress is nothing without a garrison. A weapon is useless without a soldier to wield it. To give its Arctic strategy teeth, Russia has created specialized military units trained for the polar region. These are the Arctic Brigades. They are a unique hybrid force, combining the mobility of light infantry with the firepower of mechanized units, all adapted for survival and combat in extreme cold. These soldiers are the human element of Russia's claim to the north, the white ghosts who patrol the new frontier and stand ready to defend it. Training for these units is relentless and brutal. Soldiers must master skills foreign to conventional armies. They conduct long-range patrols on skis. They patrol on snowmobiles. They navigate by the stars in the long polar night. They practice building shelters in the snow and surviving for days in blizzard conditions with minimal equipment. They learn to fire weapons when the metal is so cold it can sear unprotected skin. Even their vehicles are specialized, like the two-part articulated DT-30 Vityaz. The DT-30 can swim across open water. Russia's actions have not gone unnoticed. The massive military buildup control of the Northern Sea Route assertive claims to undersea resources have sent shockwaves through the international community. The United States, Canada, Denmark via Greenland, Norway, Iceland. For decades, the Arctic was a zone of peace and scientific cooperation. That era appears to be over. A new era of competition, a great game for the 21st century, has begun on the world's frozen rooftop. Other powers are now scrambling to respond. The United States is in a race to catch up. The U.S. Coast Guard operated with just a handful of aging icebreakers. Its fleet was dwarfed by Russia's. Now there's a push to build a new generation of American icebreakers. The U.S. military is increasing training in Alaska and beyond. NATO sees Russia's Arctic fortress as a threat to its northern flank. Norway shares an Arctic border with Russia and sits on the front line. China has become a major player despite no Arctic coastline. It eyes use of the northern sea route. The Arctic is now a central arena for global power politics. The ambitions of great powers collide there.